I guess we'd just as well start this week off with some big deer. You bet, some really big deer. That's a baby. That's a big baby right there, isn't it? That is a big baby. Elk deer, as the grandkids used to call them. They were deer to them. They were just elk deer. Not regular deer, but elk deer. We have elk deer. We have white-tailed deer. We have albino deer. But there's three big old elk that have come in here to the feeder. And they're eating the pellets off the ground because they cannot get in the feeder because Mr. Jimmy and Mr. Apache has finally solved the problem inexpensively with a couple of bungee cords. And the deer, of course, are no match at all for the elk deer. That's, I believe that's little Buddy out there. My beautiful new red truck needs a bath. I will definitely do that today. Not been around too awful much to be able to do that. But looking really, really good right there. Waiting on my shell stickers to come in. I get my shell stickers on that brand new red truck. That's a beauty. I love it. Well, and Jimmy, we're looking at deer, not trucks. I know, but a redneck loves trucks. See my buckets out there I got at the Bass Pro Shop? Footprint at the Bassmaster Classic. They must have given away 20,000 buckets at the two big championship tournaments this month. Oh my, I guess last month as we're speaking now, isn't it? That's right. We're getting right here at the last day or two of March. Start out a new week. A couple of deer in the prayer circle. Prayer circle's looking pretty good. We got some fescue and rye planted in the yard. You know, those elk, I think there's 4 of them there. Yeah, I see 4 elk. Yep, 4. Looks like a couple mamas and a couple calves. Those are good-sized calves, aren't they? They certainly are. That baby says, I'd rather go out here and eat some rye and fescue and Bermuda out of the yard. There's so much, you would think these elk would not come up for that South Fresh. There's so much green to eat on the ranch right now, but they love that feed. They love that deer feed. And it's just another little part of their diet that's absolutely good for them, but it's something they like as well. So we get started here with elk and deer. Another week at the Eagle. It's greening up. You can look and see the trees. Got a lot of green in them, but there's a long way to go. A long way to go. Pecan trees have no leaves at all on them yet. They are the last trees on the ranch to turn green. But boy, when they get full out, what beautiful trees. We have a handful of deer out there this morning. We have a telephone, an iPhone, that's just having a very difficult time focusing. There's 5 deer out there this morning. I can't tell who is what. Kind of looks like they may be all does and fawns. I don't see any collar on any of them, so none of them is Mr. Forrest. That's a really big deer there, but I think it's a big old pregnant doe. There's 5 deer total out there. My telephone is really struggling shooting through this window for sure. Oh, yeah. Get a little aggressive around the South Fresh deer food. Yes, we are. But we've got a handful would be 5, and that's exactly what we have out there, it looks like. Might be 6, might be another one behind that deal right there. But nice little bunch of deal. They're not paying much attention to Benelli. She's laying right under the window right here by me. On the outside. Not on the inside, but on the outside. I'm on the inside in a bedroom window. Perfect little... That's a buck right there. I can see his nubbins. Oh, that's Buddy. That is Buddy. You can tell with that kind of back hip there. He never has come back right. He limped a lot. He got hurt somehow when he was just a baby. And after we turned him out was when he got it hurt. And he kind of has a little bit of a funny look to him. It's a big fat doe down there. I think it's Buddy and some does and fawns. And really hard to tell, but Buddy is getting some antler growth a little bit. We are going to be able to start seeing some of that pretty quickly here on the antler growth video. But that's early morning, barely light, not hardly light enough for my telephone to understand what all's going on out there. The deer are going to come over to the prayer circle. I'll be taking some gentlemen fishing today that bought a trip. I'll thank them for that. For Cast for Kids, the organization that my buddy Jay Ellis runs, does a marvelous job. They take kids fishing all over the United States, And we give them a trip almost every year. We get about 300 to 500 requests a year for fishing trips. We give away a handful, maybe a little more than that, but very, very selective, and hardly ever give a trip 2 years in a row to the same organization. Although we do that with Jay Ellis, he's a great friend, and a Cast for Kids. Again, it's for kids. So help them raise the thousands and thousands of dollars they need every year to do what they do. A tremendous organization for Cast for Kids. And the deer got their belly full, and they're going to feed on the grass a little bit around the house and wander around on another beautiful Oklahoma day. Well, now there's a sight that we have not been seeing the last 2 or 3 weeks, is deer in the yard. And now in the front yard of the lakeside. And as I look out there, there's 3 or 4 of them out there, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I don't know if those are bucks or does. I can't really tell. But I know they're definitely enjoying the green. And one of the things that's really happened in the last couple of weeks as it's greened up is we just not having a whole lot of deer come around the yard. I haven't seen Forrest in 3 or 4 days, and we haven't seen many deer at all. I haven't been running around on the ranch too much. We've had a lot of things that we've been doing, videos, and meetings, and conference calls, and this, that, and the other. So we really haven't had a time to run around. We've got a little bit of a garden planted. I'll go up and check and see if anything's come up. I might be able to do that. But it's just been a really, really hectic, busy schedule. But we have deer in the yard, which is really pleasant. We really enjoy that. And I don't know, looks like that deer has nubbins. I'm just not sure. As we back off a little bit and look, we can see that the world is turning green. As I told Chris, God has given us another spring, which is fantastic. It's a glorious time of the year when dead comes back to life. And just absolutely beautiful out there. The lake looks good. It's cool this morning. It got down to 37 degrees. That's right, 37 degrees. And some freezes in places in northern Oklahoma. Of course, we're southern Oklahoma. It's pretty doggone cold for here. But if you look at the mountain over there where life is definitely happening, the sun's coming up, just beautiful. We have deer in the yard. We need to mow. All of that real green out there is all the rye that we planted last fall, October or November. Yes, October maybe. And I'm going to plant a lot more this next October. I'll have rye all over that out there. Good for the deer and good for Jimmy looking out and seeing green in the wintertime. But that is a buck there. If that one is a buck, looks like I see some knobs on his head. I'm going to start seeing those antlers really take off here pretty soon if we see some bucks. The problem is we're not seeing a lot of bucks. But that will change, we know, because we have a lot of bucks. We sure do. Looks like they're going to wander off. But what a treat that was to see them early this morning. Yes, it was. Another beautiful sight, Canadian geese. an unusual sight right there, because if I'm counting correctly, zoom in on them there. If I'm counting correctly, that's 5. And so that means that is not 3 pair. That's 2 pair and a half. And as I look around, wander around with my camera, we find the third one right back there. The third half of the third pair. Just a straggler back there. Now we have geese, one that we know down on the point that we haven't gone down and looked in the nest, but she's been there sitting on the ground, pretty much in the open, seems like, but she's down on a point over here on the ground and on some eggs. And she's in a pretty good spot. We hope that those eggs hatch out and we have more baby geese. We love looking at the geese. We're not letting them play around in our yard too much because they create a tremendous amount of mess. And so I've allowed Benelli to scare them off, and I've scared them off myself. I've been the Benelli that scared them off. And because I really don't want them getting used to, they tame up pretty well. Canadian geese tame up pretty well. And I don't want that happening. So I love listening to them honk and holler. I love watching them fly. I love watching them swim in the water. And I enjoy watching them on land. They're just a beautiful bird. And I love any type of wildlife, except the critters that destroy the other type of wildlife that I really enjoy. And but those are beautiful right there. So peaceful, so calm, and yet they get ready to fly or they get something disturbs them a little bit, and they just go absolutely crazy. Just go bonkers. Pretty amazing. Yeah, all 3 pair are there right now. They mate for life, just like Chris and I. And sometimes I get kind of riled up and do a lot of hollering and honking myself.